Oh, LTS intro. Wait, did I hit the right? Oh, this is the intro. Good evening, fight fans. I know typically on this channel, you usually catch the Bodkin Show. Well, guess what? I am Bodkin still, baby. But instead of the Bodkin Show on a Sunday night, we had to give you, because we didn't know when we'd be able to fit it in, Headkicks and Haymakers, and we had to do UFC 303 post-show because last night, 303, I mean, the card was, I don't really know. Up and down. I mean, but I was carried with, before we get into, Alex Pereira, I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, I don't know, like his stars just continues to rocket, but to me, you can't write 303 unless you talk about Dan Ige and the gangster that is Diego Lopez, those two gangsters. So I'm going to set the precedent, and then we can talk about that first. So we knew after we went off air Wednesday night, we knew the co-main event was supposed to be Diego Lopez, Brian Ortega. Then Friday, I believe it got changed Friday or Saturday right before weigh-ins. Hey, Ortega can't make the 145 weight. How about 155? Ortega says yes. Diego says without a doubt has to rehydrate to get back up to 155 because he's cutting down. So stops his weight cut, rehydrates, makes weight at 155. Ortega makes weight 155. We're watching last night. I'm getting on Twitter. I've seen all this weird Dan Ige stuff. Oh, there's reports, this and that. Right. Sure enough, as the prelims end, Dan Ige is in. Ortega is out sick. Diego Lopez says, yes, I'll do it, and catch weight at 165. Right. With no other sport, first of all, I don't know if this has ever happened in the UFC, but in no other sport could this ever happen. Because just imagine in football, the Green Bay Packers. Hey, all week you're going to play the Chicago Bears. You show up to the stadium 2 hours before the game. Hey, by the way, the Bears aren't here today, so we got you the Cleveland Browns. I know you've been preparing for them. You've been preparing for all the week, but that's never going to happen. No. And I don't know if it's ever happened in the UFC. Usually it says, hey, fight's canceled due to this. You know what I mean? But no, Dan Ige steps in, wakes up with, and kudos to both Dan Ige and Dan Ige wakes up not willing to fight, like he's been training because he's got to fight in a few weeks. But yeah, he was getting a massage and just says, "Yeah, I'll do it. I'll dare to be great." And kudos, Diego Lopez. Like imagine him. Hey, couple hours. You've been training the last. First of all, took the fight with Brian Ortega in like a week's notice. Right. Hey, we know you were supposed to fight Brian Ortega, but how about Dan Ige?
How about this guy?
Right now, tonight? Yeah, sure. Oh, I'm already here dressed to fight, so I might as well. Oh, it's going to be at 165, too. We know that that's probably your walking around weight, and you've already cut and rehydrated back because we told you it's going to be at 155. And Diego Lopez still took that fight with everything to lose because if he would have beat Ortega, like that's a top 3 guy in his weight division. Then he fights below, and it's Dan Ige. I mean, I don't know where to begin, but like that, my mind was blown because no other sport and maybe even no other organization. This don't even happen in boxing with unless you can have a backup fighter we know, but not going to get calling some guy who's getting a deep tissue massage saying, "Hey, put that put the lotion down. It's time to can you get over here to the T-Mobile Center and fight."
Listen, bro, and you said it all. Like, first of all, shouts out to both Dan Ige and Ortiz, man, because like in my mind, it's like, I'm at the grocery store, I'm putting my Captain Crunch in the basket, hey, you want to fight Nick Bacchus tonight? Hell yeah, we fight Nick Bacchus tonight. Hell yeah. I've been training and fighting anyway. I might as well get in there. But to me, that is what makes the UFC the UFC. I'm not saying that it couldn't have happened to Bellator or, any of the other promotions. But the point is to have it happen and still be competitive is my thing. For it to not be like a stalemate.
No, I mean, Ortega won the first 2 rounds, and Dan Ige came on the third. You could tell Ortega was getting gassed in the third, and Ige was kind of coming on.
It was worth it because Ige gave it all he had, and we know him for being a pressure fighter in your
face. They don't call him. I mean, his nickname's 50K Ige because he's knocking people out, trying to get that bonus.
And listen, the point is, I don't know what they gave him, but they need to put a little more on it. You know what I'm saying? It's just because the thing is, and I was listening. I was listening to the pay-per-view. I was reading something while it was like in the midst of it happening. The point is, he has submitted drug tests or something like that, and medical clearance from the Athletic Commission in Las Vegas already. So like the list of people who could have taken the fight is like
was very tiny, because they already had his medicals. He fought in February, and he's fighting in like 2 weeks' time, or we're supposed to fight in 2 weeks' time, or something like that. So like they already had everything clear. He just has to go in and weigh in. It's never been that had like that happen in the UFC. Now people have taken fights on 2 days' notice,
right?
Days' notice, usually a week's notice, but we're talking 4 hours notice. Yeah. Like this is why when people ask me like, hey, why do you like fighting, or why do you like you know what I mean, MMA, or why do you like, it's because of things like that. It's because those people are cut from a different type of club. Nobody wakes up, you know what I mean? Like, and it's like, you know what? I'm willing to go get punched in the fucking face today. You know what I mean? That by a killer. Like Diego Lopez isn't just some bum off the street either. Diego Lopez, he's an absolute killer. A guy I think could be a future featherweight champion at some point.
In the reality of it is, this on both sides. Diego Lopez is headed up the ladder of the UFC. He's definitely already put on some really, really good performances in the octagon. And for them to go, look, you're so good, you have to fight. That's another thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure that they had every reason to not put the fight on.
Diego could have said no both times. He could have said the 155, and he could have said no.
Yeah. Exactly. He could have said no.
But nobody would have been mad. Nobody would have been mad. Nobody, you know what I mean?
We would have all understood. But somehow
you move Joe Pyfer to the main event, you still got 5 fights. You know what I mean?
Right. And it still would have been worth, you know what I'm saying? And maybe they, just like you said with the Joe Pyfer, maybe they would have just moved the Joe Pyfer to the pay-per-view.
They would have had to, yeah. They would have got the 5 fights on the pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Like
slid everything up one. Now we get to see Joe Pyfer, knock a guy out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it still would have went on. But or like somehow, some way, this was one of those let me show you my heart type of pay-per-views. And they went in there and they did it. And then at the end, guess what? Like they dapped up, they hugged. It's the competitive spirit. There was no ill will between the two guys. I mean, I don't know you. I don't even know you, bro. But
neither guy had anything to lose. You know what I mean? Because like it's both like if the loss, even though Danny get like, hey, I took the fight on 4 hours notice. Like what? There's nothing you can say or do to me that's gonna hurt me. And they did the UFC a solid, and the UFC obviously gonna take good care of them. Both of them said they want to fight the Sphere. Dana said they get whatever the hell they want. You know what I mean? So
they can have it. BJ, you want to show everybody this lollipop? Come on, show everybody. Yes, shout out to you, BJ, who wants to show how you knock out everybody with this big, humongous lollipop. Okay, this is what kids want these days: is large lollipops and V-Bucks, ladies and gentlemen. Have a seat. Thank you so much.
Man, but it was incredible. Like to me, like. You cut from this is like what real gladiators are made of is what Dan Ige and Diego Lopez did.
It's a testament to their big words. It's a testament to their fortitude, to how much they really put into the sport, because everybody has had that build up to something that you have wanted to do, prepared for, and then that huge.
You got guys stepping up. You know what I mean? We just had this with Kevin Gastelum. Didn't make weight. You know what I mean? Guy who didn't make weight had a camp. I mean, we just saw Conor McGregor step out the fight.
Yeah, Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler is in the arena, ready to go. Nobody to fight. Like we've seen iterations of this, but for them to figure out a way for it to still go on, like just imagine, like, look, bro, we lost the main a month ago. We losing the co-main today. What are we gonna do? Let's scramble. Let's figure it out.
Yeah.
And they did. Straight up, they did. So
I mean, kudos to everybody that to get it. Diego Lopez gets the win in the co-main, but we got to talk about the main event. Alex Pereira. I mean, so there was everybody in November, there might have been a questionable early stoppage. There was no, I mean, Herb Dean let Yuri die out there before he stopped it.
No choice this time.
Yes. I mean, I thought in the first round, if there was 10 seconds left, remember Yuri hits him with the left hook, puts Yuri down. If there was 10 seconds left in the first, the fight's over. Yuri, I don't think fully recovered from that. Goes back out there and about 30 seconds into the second round gets a head kick to the dome, and you could have called the fight then, and then extra punches, and then when they tried to stand him up, he looked like your buddy who's been sitting at the bar too long and slumped over, and you're trying to get him in the car, and he's just
It's one of those things, man. You know, when you got a rematch like that, you know, it's, oh man, you know, oh, he got me the first time, but I'm not gonna let him get me again. But then
in the first one in November, you could have said, "Hey, maybe a little early stoppage." You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that was the point in this one. They made emphasis to go, okay, you down.
Well, I said they put Herb Dean out there to make sure he dies. So you know what I mean?
He got you down. So look, I don't know what else you're gonna do. You know what I mean? And that's specifically what they. Hey, look, 4 or 5 extra strikes never hurt nobody. You know, that's literally what happened. Okay,
Alex, to me, he is front runner of the year for fighter of the year. I mean, what he's done he saved UFC 300, saved International Fight Week. He's fought on their 2 biggest cards, headline and knockouts in both.
5 title defenses, 5 title defenses. Crazy, and it's crazy how.
Well, this is his second. This is his second title defense in the light heavyweight.
Yeah, for the light heavyweight. Yeah, 3 in the other division, of course. But it's crazy how we're watching it, and we're watching the fight unfold, and then we're waiting on the knockout for something to happen, and then pow, it goes down. DC was saying in the corner that they were discussing that Yuri kept bobbing to the left or to the right or whatever. And he said, I'm going to catch him with a head kick. Of course, it's in Portuguese. And of course, the trainer is probably referring to DC like, he said he's going to catch him with a head kick. You know what I'm saying? And then it comes true. There are only a few fighters who I think have that type of like visualization of like what's going to happen before. For at one point in time, like we thought, Izzy was that way. You know what I'm saying? I remember that for sure. Israel was like, yeah, I want to catch him. We saw Conor. Conor was in the back practicing the left cross or whatever, and literally doing it in its exact motion. Boom! He goes out there, performs it, gets one of the illest knockouts in UFC history. So, are we ready to say that this is the biggest superstar in the UFC at this point in time? Like
he's close. He's definitely close. That's a good question too. With like I could say that he is, man. He is so good. He's so good, and he's done it in such a short amount of time. I think he's only had like 6, 7, 9 fights in the UFC. Like he's, you know what I mean? Like he hasn't fought in the UFC very long. And you said he's been in 5 title fights with not 5 defenses because he fought Izzy 2 times for titles. Won 1, lost 1, and for the 3 light heavyweight titles. So five total, title fights in his career already.
5 total. And what they kept repeating was this is what he's only got 12 MMA fights in total.
Yeah, 12 MMA. That's what it is. He had only 12 MMA fights. Now he's had a whole ass career as kickboxer and was two-time glory champion.
Right.
And so like that's how good he is. And he just keeps getting better. Like every time out, I just feel like he's getting better and better. In this, how about this? He kicks Yuri, and then here we had Connor pulled out because he had a broken toe. This guy shows up with 2 broken toes, breaks his toe, and pops it back into place after the fight.
I mean, some guys just got that button. You know what I'm saying? Like it's on full go no matter what's happening, and he has that. I mean, it's one of those things where I love to see what he goes through in his mind before he fights. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be something different. It's another switch. It's another gear. And he's got it, and he puts it on full display in the octagon. And let me say this, before I was watching him, of course I got that affinity for certain fighters, but like he's undeniably one of the people that you have to go, all right, look, this is the guy. That's the guy. You know what I mean? I don't care what we put him on.
And maybe it's because he doesn't speak English, and some people brag on him for that. But there's not even a thing you can say a bad thing about Alex Pereira. You know what I mean? The only person that can say anything bad about him is Izzy, and even Izzy, I think, respects him as a fighter. Just that was his foe for so many years,
right?
But like, I don't ever hear anybody say like, "Oh, I don't like Alex because of this." Like even on Twitter, you don't see that as far as like any Alex hate. Like the guy just comes up, shows up, and that stoic. You had the stoic stare off again, which was incredible. And he just, he said, "Oh, you talk about my black magic here, black magic kick to the dome." You know what I mean? Meet my spirits, this you know what I mean? Type thing. And what do you think it is? I would like to kind of see Alex kind of maybe eventually go to heavyweight and grab a fight there, one fight there, or even I think him and Tom Aspinall would be an incredible fight for the heavyweight title. It may be interim title at that point in time, but who knows? But it seems like Ankalaev could be next. Alex just seemed like, I'll do whatever you want me to do. He also said he wants to fight and later this again another time, making 3 fights this year.
I mean, bro, the thing is, and we saw it, we observed it. He comes out of these matches very much unscathed. You know what I'm saying? Like
both fights. I mean, Jamal Hill never touched him, and neither did Yuri. I never felt like they was feeling out the first round, but never was really any damage.
Jamal Hill kicked him in the cup. He pushes Irvine away and says, "Nah, we gonna finish this right now."
Yeah.
Don't even worry about my nutsack, bro. I got it. I'm good. But in all seriousness, the frequency, let's put it like that, the frequency of him fighting and not coming out with nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to take that into account. I think that the challenge of going up to heavyweight is something that a real competitor would look at. And y'all know me. I talk to boxing stuff the majority of the time, right? And I think that when you clean out one of those divisions like that, like to put on 10 or 15 pounds anyway that you normally got when you're home and you ate some slices of pizza, I think that that's the next thing for you to do if you're boxing. In MMA, is it a little bit different? The way that John Jones did it was he took pretty much a year and a half off, made sure.
I don't think Alex would need to do that though.
I don't think. Yeah, John had other stuff going on, which also helped.
We were also in a pandemic. They weren't going to let him fight in an empty Apex arena. You know what I mean?
And they prolonged his year and a half off, but in the end, he put on the weight and maintained it. And I think that would be the main thing. I don't want him to go up there and not be ready to fight. I want to see Alex at his best, ready to take on whomever. Because Tom Aspinall, definitely. You know what I'm saying? Somehow, some way, are we going to get Stipe and John? Gotta have it. But then after that, could we see if Tom Aspinall was to lose? Could we see Pereira and Jones? Can Alex Pereira wrestle? Because that's.
I think John Jones after the Stipe fights, I think they both ride off into the sunset.
You think so?
Yeah. John Jones ain't gonna stick around. He don't. What's crazy is Alex Pierre and John Jones are the same age. In fact, Alex Pierre is 12 days older.
Wow. Wow.
We just think that Jones is older because Pierre hasn't been in the UFC, but you forget again, he had two, the glory kickboxing, and all that. It's wild to think that they're the same age. And they don't even look the same age. Like, you know what I mean?
Definitely not. You know what I'm saying? John Jones participates in several activities outside of the UFC that ages him,
Yeah.
So
has aged him as yes.
But no, Alex is out there living in the forest, you know what I'm saying, living like his ancestors, and it keeps him young looking, dog. It keeps him incredibly young looking. I was looking, and the funny thing is, he has a sense of humor. He has nobody knows it. Like on Instagram and TikTok now, he's got like funny videos of him being serious and cutting hair and joking. Like, and I think that if we understood Portuguese, we'd think he was funny. But I don't know Portuguese.
I find him funny. You're right. He's got a sense of humor. I don't. Jamal Hill said, "I'm going to smoke the next guy, and then I'll see you soon." And I love Alex Pierre is okay.
Right.
All right. Yeah. Whatever. Like, okay. Yeah. Like, right. He's very stoic in everything he does, and the dude is a superstar. And for my money, I don't care what, Dana is doubling down that John Jones is the pound for pound champ. He was yelling at a reporter about it last night. Right. I think Alex Pierre to me is the pound for pound.
Right now, recency bias. Of course, and the thing is, Dana White has all the more reason to be on the John Jones train based on what has been done in the UFC in the past. But when you talk about currently, right now, like in the country, RET, we got to put Alex Pierre in there. There's nobody else. You know what I mean? The thing is, we as fight fans, we was excited to even think that we was going to see Conor McGregor, just to think it, But we were not let down to get this fight. You know what I'm saying? Definitely weren't let down. I think if we talked a while ago and when we had the comparisons and I was trying to, y'all know me. If you see me on TV, y'all know I'm talking about food. So you know what I'm saying? The ribeye and the T-bone, although both are steaks, one's just a different cut of meat, it's still freaking steak. We still got a steak out of this pay-per-view. And I'm excited about the future because what else could Alex Pierre do? What else can he do, bro?
Yeah. I don't know what's maybe Ankalaev's next. Yuri kind of he said he must evolve. And I don't know like what that means, or he must quit fighting. So I don't know. Like what I mean? Like in his samurai mind, like he's just like, I can't ever, like,
there go that samurai talk again. He got to get better with swords. I don't know.
You know what I mean? So I don't know what's next for Yuri Prochazka. I was kind of looking at the rankings, like I don't know. I felt like him and Jan Blachowicz already fought, but maybe not. I'd have to look it up.
Of course, when you think about there's two tough divisions. So Jan Blachowicz is down there somewhere. Rakic, and then of course at one point in time we were talking about Khalil Roundtree to be somebody to be going up the rankings, doing well in fights, but of course he didn't get a chance to have his last fight. So
I would like to see personally. I would like to see. Okay, so Yuri has not fought. He has not fought. He fought Rakic back at 303 or 300. I'm sorry. He could fight Jan Blachowicz or even Jamal Hill, but I would like to do the Roundtree Jamal Hill, rebook that. They had that booked for this card and it fell through. So I would do Yuri versus Jan Blachowicz.
Right. And I think that would be a competitive one for him. Somewhere in the midst of this, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at it now. So at 2, you got Magomed Ankalaev. Of course, somewhere up there. I
think he could be fighting for I think him and Alex are next. I think. Yeah. Who knows? That's what I would do.
That's what I'm saying. Number 2.
Yeah.
At number 2, you got him right there. But listen, bro. Are we witnessing something like sight unseen at this point in time? Is this going to be the thing we talk about 10 years? You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like we
Whatever
talk
happened to
about
Yuri Prohaska? Like whatever happened? Are you saying like? Are we going to ask like whatever happened to Yuri Prohaska?
no, are we going to like, okay, for instance, we talk about John Jones. We talked about John Jones while John Jones wasn't fighting. You know what I'm saying? We talk about Conor McGregor when Conor McGregor wasn't fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like, is this the next thing? Of course, Alex will be fighting somewhere. But is this the next big thing where we go, hey man, I can't wait for Alex Pereira to have another fight. You know what I'm saying? Of course,
I think he's already got that. Yeah, I think so. I think people want to watch him fight. You know what I mean? So they said that last night was the 4th highest gate in UFC history. So there's that.
Yeah, and of course, you know, bringing the eyes to the TV is what you want. And literally, even though, you know, even with the downfall of streaming and the offset of streaming or whatever, like there's still a huge group of people who go in there just to watch him have these matches, and he does not disappoint at all. You know what I'm saying? Is it worth my $60, $69? Heck yeah. But you know, at the same time, hey, I'm a pirate. I like to steal. But that's how it goes. He's making his mark on 2 divisions, and I'm really interested to see if they go, okay, Alex, what you want to do? And he says, all right, we're going to heavyweight. Does he jump right in and go straight to the top and fight Tom Aspinall, or do we get like a heavyweight tune-up? You know,
if he's still a champ, you got to give him a straight to the Yeah. But let's just say he loses the light heavyweight, and then he's like, hey, I'm gonna move up to heavyweight. Then you give him a top 2 or 3 guy, and then go that route.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, in my mind, like, you know, your body's got to undergo some changes. So let's say he takes it serious and goes, okay, what are we gonna do? How is this gonna work? Okay, let's change my body. You know what I'm saying? Let's put on the weight. Let's put on some more muscle. Let's make it work. Blah blah blah. So I take 6 months, right? Let's take 6 months. Let's give up the light heavyweight strap. So then he goes to heavyweight and he goes and fights Tai Tuivasa or Curtis Blades or Cyril Gane. Everybody likes to fight Cyril Gane. You got to fight Cyril Gane at least one time.
Well, Cyril Gane don't want to fight nobody. That's the problem.
Yeah, he's gonna be career gone if you don't get back in the ring. Okay, but you know what I'm saying, like that's why I would like to see that. I'm not saying throw him directly. I would love to see him go straight to, you know, Tom
if he's a champ, then he needs to fight the champ. But if he's not the champ, give him a top 2 or 3, much like he did with the light heavyweight, right? Like lost to Izzy in the rematch, lost to middleweight, says I'm going to go to light heavyweight. They gave him Jan Blachowicz, the number 3 guy, I think, at the time. Right. And then his next fight was legit for the title, right. The vacant light heavyweight title. And he beat Yuri and then beats Jamal and then beats Yuri again. So, like, man, the guy is absolutely incredible. It's crazy to think, like, in such a short period of time,
very short,
what he's done. You know what I mean? He's beaten. He's beaten literally every fight he has been in, other than like his first 2 fights in the UFC. All former champs are champ. You know what I mean? Beat Sean Strickland, who obviously became a champion later. Beat Izzy. You know what I mean? Beat Jan Blachowicz, a former champ. Beat Yuri twice, former champ. Beat Jamal Hill, former champ. Like all guys who've had a title.
And this is one of those things where, you know, iron sharpens iron. But if your iron already sharp as hell. I mean, what else are we gonna do here? You know what I'm saying? Like
exactly,
like you said, if you look at the list of fighters, except for maybe my guy Bruno Silva, maybe it's nothing but the best, like the tops of the tops.
That's what I mean. Like after, like they gave him the jumps. You know what I mean? They fast tracked him so Izzy could fight him, and then he's just taken over since.
Yeah, and rightfully so. I mean, you know, like we said, with that K1, that boxing, that prior background, like that kickboxing, that's not a joke. Like that was those were some real fights, and he was whooping ass over there. So he came in and so and maybe we'll talk about it too, because we got to go back and talk about a little bit about somebody that disappointed me on the card. Just disappointed me, just a little disappointment. The competition level in the UFC is the top. You know what I'm saying? The best of the best, the cream of the crop. If you're not ready to come in there and fully use your full potential into what you got going on, you can't do it. And he went in there and did it and put it on. Because there's somebody that I think, and we'll talk. I guess we'll talk about some of the other fights that just.
Yeah, I was just gonna work our way back down. I wanted to get your thoughts on the Maribuena and Chasson fight. Maribuena gets the cut above the eye. Pretty deep gash. Yeah. I would have personally. I felt like it could have kept going. Right. I think there was like 3 minutes or 4 minutes left in the round. I would have liked to seen them get to the corner, see if they could close it up, and then if you can't, then stop the fight. But maybe you know what I mean. It kind of was bleeding a little bit into the eye. It was deep gash. It was a deep gash. Obviously, when the blood's going into the eye, you can't have that. That'll cause some severe problems later down the road. Right. But your thought: early stoppage, okay stoppage.
As it was transpiring, notice the SAT words right there. As it was happening, I thought that it was early. And I'm like, oh man, it's just a cut above the eye and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But then when they slow it down and then they cleaned it out a little bit and then they zoomed in on it, it was like literally like this big. I get it. You know what I'm saying? When it's down to the bone, literally, you can't do anything like. And kudos to Maria Brena Silva. You know what I'm saying? Like she wanted to continue.
Yeah, that's the thing. She wanted to keep going.
Chesson had pretty much. It was in my mind. I would think it was closer to a split than anything. But when you get down like that, like you can't do anything. I'm sorry, man. We got to call this one. And even though it was a stoppage, it was a good stoppage based on the idea of, hey, look, we got to preserve you for later. You know what I mean? You got to come back. If this thing is too deep that every time you get in the ring, you get to Nate Diaz, you know what I'm saying? Every time you're in the ring, you immediately start bleeding from the same spaces. We just want to make sure we got you. We protect you from yourself. So shout out to Maria Brena Silva for trying to continue and keep that going. But the doctors said, man, it's too deep. When when you look at, if you ever get to look at it, like they stick that the Q-tip in there, and half the Q-tip is going in her forehead. When is that deep? Okay, go ahead and cut it, bro. Go ahead and cut it.
Yeah, I thought a little early, but I mean, I get the why the stoppage. What do you think, or who should be next, real quick, and then we'll kind of get to the other card, the other fight, the MVP fight. Who for Chasson? That's kind of who's next. Who I'd like to see her next. Maybe Irene Aldana, and then Bueno Silva. Seems like I would probably, she could fight down. Because I want to say Kayla Harrison. I think Kayla Harrison needs either for the title next or Juliana Pena. It seems like they have booked Juliana Pena, and Raquel Pennington is almost official. It seems like
the Juliana Pena is definitely the Juliana Pena and Raquel Pennington is definitely probably the next big thing for that division with bantamweight. For the spirit of Holly Holmes is always there. You got like I don't care who it is. Holly Holmes.
They both just. I don't think Chesson's fought Holly Holm, or maybe she has, but Holly Holmes right there. Miesha Tate. MBS could. Silva could fight Miesha Tate. I wouldn't mind that. I feel like we haven't seen Miesha Tate.
So let's when we talk about Bueno Silva has beaten Holly Holmes one time. Yes, so that has happened. But has Holly Holmes fought? Let's see. Is that because I don't think that has taken place yet. But it's a possibility that would be the next big thing if they haven't seen each other yet between the two. And I'm excited to see. I'm excited for the women's bantamweight division because at one point in time it was kind of like a big stalemate at the top. but recently it's going down. Oh wait, wait.
So we'll talk about this fight next right here. And that's
we
MVP.
gotta talk about that one.
It should have been gifted. His W. His opponent was a coward. It's one thing to clinch for a strat, and another. So I would disagree, Bobby. I thought I picked Ian Gary because I knew Ian was going to be smart enough to know what he had to do to win. First round was all Ian. Right. Had him deep in the rear naked choke. I thought he was going to get him out of there.
Yeah, that was, and I think he got some big points for that escape though.
And then the second round, MVP was piecing him up on the feet. MVP was the faster fighter, and then the third was close, but Ian had him. Ian kind of took top position, had that control time. In the third, MVP should have tried to shake him off. MVP just kind of sat there as well. But nonetheless, Ian Gary's still undefeated. He called out Shavkat Rakhmonov after that fight. Ooh. And I would, after watching that fight, I still think Shavkat would blow the doors off of Ian Gary.
Ian Gary, to me, took advantage of a stylistic fighter. MVP is when they said it on multiple occasions, MVP is a point karate fighter. He stands there, he's wide open, he's ready to counter and kick or punch the entire time. Oh no, that's exactly what I said. And somehow, some way, when you get him in there, Ian Gary literally pretty much slept on him. You know what I mean? We're trying to get him down. We're trying to take advantage of the fact that he doesn't wrestle as much. I think he was smart about it because MVP has the potential to catch people off guard.
He caught Ian a few times.
And that's what I'm saying. I think that he felt it and said, "Okay, I got to change the strategy." So, but did he do enough to warrant Shavkat and actually?
That's
be
kind of
good?
The next projection, though, right? Like, I would like to still see him and Colby or him and somebody like that.
Yeah, if you want to wrestle, let's pull, and it's almost time to vote. Oh my God, Colby out of the blue, representing the Trump campaigns with his MAGA hat on.
Ian is 7, Shavkat's 3. So you got Usman. Usman needs to either fight or get out the rankings. He's number 1. Hasn't fought in over a year. Bilal, we know Bilal and Leon are fighting next month. Right. I wouldn't mind Ian and Shavkat. I mean, Shavkat's 3, so if he wants to fight up, go ahead. We are getting Gilbert Burns versus Sean Brady. That's been announced. Or even do Jack Della Mena and Ian. I'm okay with that. That's the sad thing is some of these welterweights who are young, the up-and-comer Shavkat and JDM and Sean Brady and Ian Machado Ian are going to have to fight each other eventually, and one of them's going to kill one of them off. So, if he wants Shavkat, go ahead. I don't mind that. I mean, both undefeated fighters, somebody's going to get a loss in that fight. I would put, I love Shavkat, so I would pick Shavkat in that fight, and I think Ian Gary's just as, almost as good. But I thought last night he was just a smarter fighter, knew what he had to do. Didn't think he was going to finish MVP, but knew that what he had to do to win the fight. You're muted.
Oh, I think you got it exactly right. He was he played it safe. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to go in there and play it safe. But to me, Ian Gary, with his record, with the way he talks about himself, with the way he puts himself out there in the division, this was supposed to be, let me take him out and prove to everybody that
Ian hasn't done that in two or three fights now, though. You know what I mean? Like even the Jeff Neal fight, it was, I'm going to point you and win. Like I'm just going to do enough to win. Right. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to maintain my undefeated record. I'm going to move up in the rankings. So yeah. Well, I don't know if they gave him 10 million. I don't know if they gave him 10 million, Bobby, but they gave him,
10 million?
They gave him, I don't think it was 10 million.
Ooh,
but they did give
I'm
him.
about to say
They
they gave him 10 million. He was, hey, listen, he earned it. Listen here, I'm in the grocery store picking out cold cuts for my kids' sandwiches this week, and I fight. You got to give me something, bro.
I don't know. I don't know what they gave him. I haven't heard what they gave him. I don't know if he said. And most of that stuff's usually undisclosed. Usually they don't want to talk about what they gave a guy. But I'm sure they gave him quite a bit. 10 million seems a lot to me, especially for the UFC. Feel like they probably gave him, maybe a couple mil.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that half a mil, quarter mil. Hey, I think that was definitely.
Yeah, that's probably yeah.
Yeah, that hey
10
man,
million, I don't think so.
Yeah, 10, nah, but that quarter mil, half a mil, right quick. Hey man, look, we appreciate you. You saved the day. Here go, Uncle Dana put, and it's not even like here goes the disclosed amount, and then
I don't
Uncle
think
Dana
he meant it. I don't think he meant 10 million. I don't think he.
Yeah, not 10 million, but
yeah.
Uncle Dana gave you the disclosed envelope. This is what you tell everybody you got, and then turn around and backhand you, here goes a little something extra just for doing it.
Exactly.
We appreciate you.
Exactly.
But shout out to Bobby G and his Audible podcast. Bobby, we appreciate you, bro. We got some basketball to talk about coming up soon. But yeah, man, this right here was one of those times where Ian Gary could have, should have, in any other case, shown out and done the damn thing. But I think he kind of walked through this on a sleeper. And the thing is, I want to see MVP fight somebody who he matches with. Well,
stays and bangs with him. Bangs with him. Yeah.
Yes. Don't go out there. Don't go out there and wrestle MVP to the ground and have him on.
Ian's trying to win. You know what I mean? Right. So, yeah.
But I want to see something exciting with Michael Venom Page. I don't care about him winning the belt. I don't care about him.
I mean, let him fight Joaquin Buckley or Jeff Neal. They'll stand and bang. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Jeff Neal for sure. Joaquin Buckley for sure. I would love to see. Hey, everybody got to fight Neil Magny one time. I don't care who you are. You got to. Yeah. And Neil Magny is similar in style in which they will stand and counter. I like that. What? You want to see Neil Magny too? Okay. I like. We got comments from the Peanut Gallery. I think Baby wants to see the Neil Magny fight as well. Somehow, some way, bring back Nate Diaz.
Nate's not coming. I don't know. I don't think Nate's getting ready to fight Jorge Masvidal next weekend in a boxing match.
We're going to talk about that as well. I think for sure, though. If we put MVP, if MVP gets one more win, I think MVP would be a good guy to go. Hey, you want to fight for the BMF title? Put on some weight and fight for the BMF.
You would have to lose weight because right now it's at 155 with Max Holloway.
Okay, right. Okay, so down, lose a little, and he's already a slim guy. He's already a slim guy.
I think he's trying to make a run at the title. I don't know about that Max Holloway or him, and I do like the Neil Magny though, or the Jeff Neal.
Yeah, Neil Magny, Jeff Neal. Hey, look, and there it goes. It just popped into my eye. At 9, we got Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Let's karate it out real quick. You know what I'm saying? Let's,
I think MVP has talked about that, and both of them actually talked about that fight. Because as fans, we think it would be a fun fight. They both say it would be a boring fight for the fans because, you're just going to karate. Yeah, stand there and do that karate stance, and then just no crane kicks to the dome. You know what I mean? So
right. Sweep the leg. They better that, right?
Yeah.
But I'd like it though. I'd like to see it just because.
Before we do talk about that boxing match real quick, was there anybody else on the card that's you want to shout out or that took your eye?
For me, man, this was one of those events where I gotta think about Joe Pyfer out here before, the prelims, the whole crowd is not there. They're probably walking around getting drinks.
Joe Pyfer, he looked big, did he not? He looked like he was jacked.
I was just about to get out there. The point was the thing to bring the people to their seats. You know what I'm saying? Like, and everybody's been to an arena to watch a sporting event. They got TVs everywhere. I could imagine being in line, getting my Hennessy shots, talking to somebody, and then looking at the screen and going, "God dang!" And then I gotta go sit down. And I got and going, "Hey, I gotta go sit down." As Joe Pyfer pretty much, closed out the prelims in the first round. So shout out to him. I hope they gave him some money. They always got a fight of the night.
They gave him a performance of the night or something like that, I believe.
Yeah. If he deserves it, I like that.
He called out Paul Craig next. I wouldn't mind seeing that. But yeah, I like that. Joe Pyfer. Watch out for Peyton Talbot too. I mean, that kid is phenomenal.
19 seconds. Yeah, that was another one. Yeah. That was another one. Oh man, I'm hurt, man. I'm hurt. My boy lost. Well, not my boy lost, but somebody I'm always interested in seeing, who since I became, pretty much a UFC fan, like Cub Swanson was out there looking like old Cub for just as long.
That was a fun fight.
Yeah, but it is a split decision. It
was close. Yeah,
it was close. But shout out to Cub Swanson, who went out there and did his thing in the prelims for sure. But yeah, when I first started watching UFC, and it was on, I think, like FX, like after the Man Cave or something like that.
Yeah.
That I remember Cub Swanson being like a young cat with less tattoos, and then the thing about certain networks, they try to like Cub Swanson was like from the hood, bro. He's like, yeah, bro, I don't give a damn. I'll fight anybody anytime. Southern California, man, me, blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, that guy's gonna be somebody one day. So shout out to Cub Swanson, even though after he took a tough loss.
Yeah, tough loss for Cub, but yeah, overall, I didn't think. What grade would you give this card?
To imagine that it was like a A++ card in our brains months ago, and to get this, I still give it like an A-. I would give it an
easy grade. The card as itself, I kind of give it a B. B-, somewhere around there, you know what I mean? Like, as an overall card, there was some good fights. Or, I thought Alex Pierce saved the day. We did have this shenanigans with the Dan Ige stuff, which made it kind of even more exciting. So I'm gonna give it a B.
B-. Okay, you give it a B, A-, B. Yeah, that's close. Still passing grades. Everybody knows.
It is. It passed. It wasn't the worst card. I mean, you want to see worst card? Check out the card in Denver and the Apex card in 2 weeks' time. So those are pretty fucking shitty. What boxing you got? Any boxing you want to cover real quick? For I am gonna typically on my Sunday show I do a dog and a turd, but no turd. I don't want to give a turd out in this card, but I gotta shout out a couple dogs. But I want to get to some boxing before we get out of here. You got some boxing.
Well, of course, right now everybody is still interested in seeing what's going to happen going forward with Tank Davis. If y'all didn't get a chance to watch Headkicks and Haymakers last week. Frank Martin got knocked out by Tank Davis. Tank Davis is pretty much cleaning out the 135 division. Last night, top-ranked Teofimo Lopez put on a fight, someone who was also in that same range. But of course, cross promotions is very tough when you're fighting for something like top rank, and then you got the IBF out here. The sanctioning bodies have to come together and align in order for those fights to happen. And the thing about fighting someone like a Tank Davis, it's a money fight, but you're going to come down to him. He's not coming to you. You're going to lose weight. You're going to cut 20 pounds. Your kidneys are going to fail. You're going to look like a gaunt skeleton at the weigh-ins, and Tank Davis is going to laugh at you as he knows he's going to hydrate and be at 120% before you're even at 85. I am interested in seeing somehow, some way, whether we do what I think is going to happen and we bring out the great Lomachenko to fight Tank Davis. And of course, everybody knows Loma has a storied history for fighting guys who are on the rise and literally countering them to death. Which in a sense is what Tank Davis does do, but when he counters you, but if it's one or two, you're gonna go down, But right now, this is a special time in boxing where the tops of the tops are literally all intertwined, and they have to do something. And we talked about it last week as well, where right now Devin Haney is going on Devin Haney, Bill Haney, the Haney family is taking every opportunity to say they want the Ryan Garcia back in blood fight to happen. Will it happen? How many drug tests will they? They're gonna put something in there like, we're gonna test Ryan 3 times a week, every week.
Well, he's suspended for a year, so we'll see. The New York commissioner suspended him for a year.
Yeah,
so
the New York commission. And boxing is one of those things. The New York commission suspends you for a year. Well, we can go fight in Vegas, or we can fight.
You can go fight Mr. Turkey Al Sheik. Pay
there you go. My man Turkey. Once again, salam alaikum to all my brothers in Saudi Arabia. Turkey Al Sheik, we appreciate you. Everybody knows right now the home of boxing is Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. One of the most exciting things did happen. So I'm glad you did let me get a moment to talk about some boxing. Anthony Joshua has got a fight coming up. He's going to fight my guy Dubois. Right. Yeah. And there's always some things that lead up to a fight that make you excited. But Dubois was a softer heavyweight. And when I say soft, I don't mean soft in a negative way, like he can't fight. Dubois knocks guys out. But when in his press conferences, he's very unentertaining, very soft-spoken. But he got in front of Anthony Joshua. He grew a pair on camera, and a large pair it was. So shout out to him. I'm excited to see that, as we also discussed Alexander Usyk vacating the heavyweight title that he just won from Tyson Fury to become undisputed. And now what we're going to get is a Dubois and Anthony Joshua fight for that same belt, because we talked about it
last week. Yep.
Yeah, Usyk is basically has a mandatory with Tyson Fury, and they're going to put that on at the end of the year once again in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I'm telling you, Bacchus, man, we're gonna get us some passports, bro. And me and you, we're gonna get some Arab garb. And we're gonna go over there. We'll fit right in, to be honest with you. I think it will fit right in. It's just me and you hanging out. I got the beard. You're tall. You got a beard too. We just put the joints on, bro. I might get one off of Amazon and see how. just rock it on the show and be like, and when you see me in that, you know we ready for some boxing. Okay, get ready.
Amen to that. So real quick, I do want to give out the dogs of the week. No turd this week, but we got again 3 dogs. We're not 1, not 2, but 3 dogs on this card. You're a dog in life and a dog in the car when they call you and say, hey, can you fight in 3 hours? So dog of the week is none other than Dan Ige. Also, when you accept a fight and then it changes to a weight and a different opponent, all in different weights, Diego Lopez, dog of the week. And no other dog. He took the guy in about 2 weeks' time and finished him in the second round. Alex Pereira, also dog of the week. So you got to have those 3. I felt like they saved the 303 card. What an incredible night of fights. Alex Pereira, more importantly, Dan Ige and Diego Lopez, both dogs of the week.
Bro, I mean, you said a mouthful. Those are definitely guys deserving of the dogs of the week. And sometimes dogs run in packs. So all 3 of them definitely get the dog
Amen
of
to
the week,
that.
in my opinion, bro. So, hey, real talk. Hey, man, me and Bacchus running the pack. We a 2-man pack. We scary. Don't catch us in the corner. Okay. But definitely, bro, those three guys, Dan Ige, Lopez, the man himself, the scariest son of a gun in UFC right now, Alex Pereira, definitely well-deserved dogs of the week, bro.
For sure. This has been another great episode of Headkicks and Haymakers. We'll be off this Wednesday. That's why we did the show today. So it'll be about a week and a half. No UFC this Saturday anyway, this coming Saturday. So really no MMA cards. I mean, you do got the Jorge Masvidal, Nate Diaz fight. Maybe we'll talk about that when we come back. But nonetheless, yeah. Nonetheless, be a friend, tell a friend, folks. Like, subscribe, share for my brother Whit. I'm Bodkins. This has been another great episode of Headkicks and Haymakers. Be a friend, tell a friend, folks. Like, subscribe, share. We'll see ya.
Celebrate the 4th. It's your Independence Day. Yeah, man. Definitely. Celebrate the 4th.